Before we start today's episode, I just want y'all to know I am on the struggle bus today. I am impatiently waiting for my period to start. So my brain is not all the way there. My energy is, I just want to be in the bed, cozy. And I don't even have my regular glasses. These are the sunglasses. So we're going to get through it. Now let's jump in.
Execute.
Does taking care of yourself for your period, does it start to feel like a lot? Like you have to do a lot, you have to spend a lot just to manage the symptoms, cramping, bloating, headaches, period shits. And that's not even like just the basic hygiene. Well, to help with that, I tried this new brand, Bye, who says they're here to help us have pain-free periods, more regular periods, and reduce some common PMS symptoms. I'm Lauren, and in today's episode, we're reviewing 3 products from Bye. So you'll know if they're worth the top drawer and see if you're going to wave bye to your cramps or if you're just waving bye to your money. So a disclaimer for this episode is these products were actually gifted by the founder, Margot. So I guess this is like our first brand partnership for top drawer. Okay, back to business. Bye offers supplements and medications for relief from PMS and period symptoms. Founded by OB-GYN Dr. Margot Harrison, who says she's here to give women back their time so they can do the things that they actually really want to do. Bye has 3 products that can be used individually or as a bundle. They're designed to be used before symptoms get so bad so that you're more proactive versus reactive. We're going to break down their 2 supplements, Bye Regularity, Bye Cramps, and their medication, Bye Bad Cramps. So let's see what they're talking about. My first thought when receiving the products was, damn, like this feels like a lot just to have a more comfortable period. Like, does it really have to be this hard using all 3 of these products? But I gave it an honest try. So I get really, really bad cramps, like a level 7 or 8. So they sent me all 3 products to try. So I know this is top drawer, but I keep my supplements in my cabinet. Disregard these. This is somebody else's shelf. But we've got the Bye Irregularity, which helps with having a more regular menstrual cycle. Remember, when your cycles are regular, you're getting your periods around the same day each month with maybe a 1 to 3 day variation. And you're also able to better predict when you're moving through each of the phases of your entire menstrual cycle. The Bye Irregularity comes in this cool blister pack right here that you just tear open. It's got, you take all 4 pills at the same time. I'll just put that here. Then we have the Bye Cramps, which is more if you experience like mild discomfort. Your cramps maybe probably don't get past like a level 3, but this is also their supplement. And it also comes in a cool blister pack here. Maybe not so easy to tear open. There we go. Okay. Also, this one is 2 pills. So they actually look very similar. So put those there. And then lastly, you have the Bye Bad Cramps. Now this is the medication. This is the naproxen, 220 milligrams. Again, if you experience like severe, almost debilitating cramps, I'm at like a level 7, 8, like I said, this is going to be what you need. These also come, can I get this out of here? Also come in blister packs. It's got the brand name there. This will be a little bit harder for me to open sometimes, so I'll just get the scissors. But this is just 1 pill that you take. So I already have, as you can see here, with all the other supplements that I usually take, and they're all for a reason, all prescribed, or not prescribed, but all under the advisement of my doctor. I used to be that girl, but not anymore. But this won't be for you if you have, an issue like, if you don't like to take pills, or if you have, we'll get into the very specific instructions, later. But if you have an issue remembering to take your supplements, or, just not really wanting to stick to a particular schedule during the day, This may not be for you, or the blister packs that it comes in, it actually may make it easier for you. But you just grab your water bottle. Now, I can take all of these at one time. I'm a G that way, I'm just saying.
I know you lying.
Take all of these, break it up, you know, take however you need to, but just that simple. So let me actually explain how to take all of it. The Bye Irregularity supplement, this actually comes with 30 of these packs. You can see it's almost empty here. I saved a couple for y'all so we could demo, but you would basically, you could start taking this at any time during the month. Just to kind of feel like I was starting off, you know, on a clean slate, I actually waited to take it until the first day of the following period when I got it, but that was just my preference. You can actually start taking it at any time. The Bye Cramp supplement, so this is actually, it's 5 packs. That's why this box is so small. And again, I saved a couple to do a demo here. You would start taking the Bye Cramps 2 days before your period starts to try to get ahead of any pain for cramps. So it's 5 packs in total, and you start taking them 2 days before, and then you continue into the first 3 days of your cycle. So every day you take these for 5 days, starting 2 days before. And this by Bye Cramps, remember this is the naproxen medication. You also start taking this 2 days before, and you take 1 in the morning and 1 at night. So it's all simple to follow, but very detailed. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about the experience that you're going to have. Are you going to keep up with that to determine whether or not something like this is actually going to be effective for you? Now let's see how I'm going to break down the ingredients for all 3 of these products. After looking into all of the ingredients for each of the formulas, there is research to support that these formulations should be able to support more regular cycles, relieve PMS symptoms, relieve pain from cramps. So what we're going to focus on today is the quality of the ingredients that are in each of these products. The Bye Irregularity supplement is made up of minerals, vitamins, botanical extracts, and other ingredients. Now, I will spare you the details on going through the pronunciations of all of these and the backgrounds of all of these. We're just going to focus on the quality. So what I'll highlight is the vitamin C in this formula actually helps you to be able to better absorb the iron. The magnesium in this particular formula, the magnesium oxide, is not my favorite. It's actually less bioavailable, so your body isn't really absorbing the form of magnesium that is in this formula. I typically prefer and know magnesium glycinate to be best. I'll call out the folate here. The folate instead of folic acid is actually the most natural form. I was looking into it, and folic acid is actually a synthetic form. The chasteberry is also a very well-known herb, and the dosage in this formula, the 40 milligrams, is actually ideal for potency. So you're essentially getting enough of it to be able to experience the benefits. And most people don't pay attention to these other ingredients here, methylcellulose, maltodextrin. They're very common in vitamins and supplements. I typically like to avoid them if possible. For the most part, they're harmless, but especially the maltodextrin, I typically like to avoid this. I think it's like, it does help preserve the formulas. I think it's also an anti-caking as well. I just typically like to avoid it, and you can. It's not impossible. You can avoid it. Now, the Bye Cramps supplement is made up of vitamins. I'm sure we've all heard of each of these vitamins before. I don't know about you, but I typically never know with these additional names here. I don't know what they mean. I don't know what I'm supposed to understand from that. But I looked into it for this episode. These additional names here, they give you insight into the quality, into the concentration. And so what I found with this type of vitamin E, this type of vitamin B1, B6, is actually these are all really good. These are all a really good quality or concentration of each of these vitamins. So highly bioavailable, which means your body is actually going to absorb them. When your body is able to absorb them, they can be effective at doing what the product says they're going to do, which in this case is help relieve pain. And the last product is the Bye Cramps. Now this is the pharmaceutical medication. You can see it says medication here on the packaging. There's no vitamins, no supplements. Naproxen is a straight pharmaceutical medication. This is in the same family as ibuprofen and aspirin. What we want to know about naproxen for this product, so this is 220 milligrams. Know that naproxen is Aleve. It's not basically Aleve. It's not the same as Aleve, that over-the-counter medication. Naproxen is Aleve. So this product is essentially rebranded or repackaged Aleve. Think about that. The last note on ingredients and materials for this product is I do believe the packaging for this is recyclable. These are basically just cardboard. I'm not sure. I recycle all of these packs anyway, even though I'm not, I hope they are. Would that matter to you, sustainability, for this type of product? I'm curious if that would matter to you anyway. By now, I know you're asking, does the system work? I took it for only 1 month, and I'm not totally sure, and I'll explain why. Bye-Irregularity, I took it for about 30 days, is not a fast-acting supplement. And if you think about it, if it's formulated to help regulate your cycles, you need to take this for some time to see if your cycles are going to become regular, to know if your periods are going to come around the same day every single month. So from what I know, I think you typically need about 3 months to start to see results with some supplements that you're taking. As for the Bye Cramps supplement and the Bye Cramps medication, I did take them according to the instructions, starting 2 days before your period starts and up to 3 days after your period starts. And I did see some noticeable difference. I experienced a reduction in my period pain, my cramps. It was not a pain-free period. So from about a level 7 or 8, which is where I am most months, it's really more like an 8. I'm working on that, doing some other things, and I'll talk about that later. I would say with taking all 3 of these, my pain level went down to about a 5. So definitely more tolerable. It was higher than discomfort. The pain was more tolerable and manageable, I would say. I actually think the Bye Cramps, so the medication, the naproxen medication, I actually think this one did most of the heavy lifting to experience the relief that I did. With Bye Cramps, so what this formula is actually doing is reducing the prostaglandins, which is actually what's responsible for the period cramps. So this formula is actually reducing the prostaglandin, so that should also actually be bringing your pain level down as well. Mind you, taking this alone is only if you experience mild cramping. I'm more severe, so I think they probably did work together, but I almost want to say I could probably just have taken the naproxen or the Bye Cramps. I'm used to taking high doses of medication, specifically ibuprofen, to get rid of my period cramps, and this is 220 milligrams per packet. I usually take about, or when I was taking medication, I was taking almost even double that, so close to 800 milligrams. So with all 3 of these, I'm actually thinking the Bye Cramps did most of the heavy lifting for pain relief. Now let's dig into the product claims a little bit to see what I experienced and what I didn't. I don't typically experience, I'm not anemic, and I don't experience any anemia symptoms. My cycles are regular. I do experience, I told y'all at the beginning of the episode, I do experience pretty strong PMS symptoms. I did not note any significant difference. Again, I think you need time. I think you need more time with the supplement to start to see relief from some of your PMS symptoms. I don't experience migraines ever. And improving egg health, again, I also think that's something. Remember, that's what the folate is going to be for. I didn't go to my doctor to check on this, any kind of fertility doctor to check before or after. I think to know if and you'd have to do that, know what your kind of your egg quality is prior to taking this, and then, you know, take a look at that sometime after. So that's not something I looked into. Overall, just based on the research though, I do trust that folate probably does have a positive impact on your egg quality. Now, Bye Cramps claims to relieve period cramps, PMS symptoms, and reduce blood loss. So period cramps, we talked about that. PMS symptoms, not much improvement there. Reducing blood loss. With this one, I'm not totally sure how to take this. Reducing blood loss. If you have a heavier period, does it make it lighter, or does it reduce the amount of days that you have your period? For me, it stayed the same just for taking it those 5 days. I typically have a 3 to 4 day period that stayed the same. I can't say that it was any lighter than it normally is either. Now the Bye Cramps, the naproxen did its job. It relieved the cramps. My only commentary would be around, just personally, I think I would need a higher dosage. I did, and I probably could have taken 3 packs a day if I needed to, but I followed the instructions, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. I did follow the instructions. I personally, if I wanted to take the medication product regularly, I would probably want to do a higher dosage if my pain level is remaining that high and there aren't any improvements, you know, based on anything that I'm doing separate from this. I would need a higher dosage of the medication. And lastly, I didn't experience any negative side effects. Nothing was during my period or PMS. Nothing was any worse than it typically is. So it did no harmful effects. Now let's talk about the value. Embrace yourself. Trust me. Brace yourself. $70. $45. Another $45. Altogether, $160 for a 1 month supply. I think these are the most expensive products that we have reviewed on Top Drawer. The most expensive. I know, girl. I know. Now you can buy these products individually. There is no cost benefit to buying them as a bundle. The only way that you will save money is by buying at least a 3-month supply. I think then you're saving around 20 to 25%, somewhere around there. But buying a 3-month supply in advance, the only way that makes sense to me is if I am buying a 1-month supply to try it, of all 3 of these at $160, and then I'm going back and buying a 3-month supply. Now maybe she's out there. I don't know anyone who buys a 3-month supply of some supplements that they've never tried before. Maybe she's out there. Unless it's coming highly recommended by, you know, your bestie, sister, cousin, maybe. No, I'm not buying 3 months in advance. I'm not buying 3 months in advance. If I'm honest, I had sticker shock when now again, the founder did send these to me this time. But I had sticker shock even looking at the prices. I said, we're gonna have to try this to see if it's worth it. All right. Let's get serious. Let's break this down by product. So you have the Bye Irregularity. So we look at everything in here. This is essentially, it's kind of like a multivitamin. So the $70 in this case kind of makes sense. I do take a magnesium supplement separately. I think that runs me around $40 a month. And I do take folate separately as well. I think that one runs me around 20 something dollars a month. So the $70 for this, considering it's a multivitamin, it does make sense. The only thing I think about is, if y'all saw my cabinet, now this magnesium though, it would not replace the magnesium that I take, which is magnesium glycinate. So, but if you're not tripping about the kind of magnesium that you take or anything else, the thing that I think about with this is just it adds on, it's another monthly expense. That's how you think about it. It's a 30-day supply. So this is essentially adding $70 a month to your budget. the Bye Cramps and the Bye Cramps, they call it a 1-month supply. It's what that, in this case, what it means is it's a 5-day supply. So there's 5 packs. I think there's 10 or 11 packs in here. And remember, 2 days before, 3 days once your period starts, 2 days before, 3 days. So these are 5-day supplies. Now remember this one. This is Aleve. This is $45. This is a 5-day supply of Aleve for $45, my friend. $45. $45. Now this vitamin E, B1, B6, I take a B6 as well. I can't remember how much, and I take B6 every day. Recommended by my doctor. It's not $45. Now, yes, this does include vitamin E, B1, yes. But that's a 30-day supply. It's a 5-day supply. And I still want to know why this wouldn't be a 30-day supply. I still want to know. Now, some things that add to the perceived value. Wave Bye was founded by an OB-GYN. Now, you ask yourself, does that mean anything? Does it mean anything for a trained medical professional who is a woman to design products? These are likely things that she's experienced herself. She's been treating patients for years who are experiencing a lot of these symptoms. Does it mean something to you that a female OB-GYN founded this brand? Convenience. Remember, all of these products actually come, there's no bottles, but all of these products actually come in these packs. So they're selling convenience as well. You can take these packs, put them in your bag, on the go, have it whenever you need it. Also claims like clinically proven. I don't know if they have science backed. I know their website had science backed, but we have it here. Clinically proven, science backed. Do those claims actually mean anything to you? Are you going to look into clinical trials? Do we actually, I think we generally think we understand what that means, maybe, but do we actually always know what it means when something is science-backed and clinically proven? I'll say for myself, when you think about all the research that hasn't been done around women's health, but it's science-backed, you're lacking research. What is the science based on? And that isn't, it's not doubting. Those are just actual questions that I have. So science-backed, clinically studied, clinically proven, you don't typically win me over with that. Now we're about to jump into the final score, and I want to say again, we go through this, yes, because we in this together, to help you, to help me, to help your best friend, to help your sister, your cousin, better determine which products are worth trying and also the best ways to use. It's easy to become a product junkie and spend all this money on all of these products because they look nice, they're interesting, the marketing is great. We probably do have problems that, yes, we're actually trying to solve with these products, or we have needs for these products, but we're not about spending money just to spend money over here. We want to have products in our regimen that actually work. Now let's go. Materials and ingredients, 2 points. Overall, these are really well-intended, pretty high-quality ingredients. I do prefer my vitamins without some of the other inactive ingredients that we discussed. And I also think there could have been a better choice for the magnesium that's included in the supplement. The function, also 2 points. While I did experience some relief from my period cramps, I was not pain-free, as the websites, as the various product claims note, and I also think you need more time with the supplement to experience some of the benefits. And lastly, value, 1 point. $70 for the 30-day supplement, essentially a multivitamin. I kind of get it. $45 for a 5-day supply of the pain relievers, especially this one. You could buy it from a drugstore or your grocery store for significantly less than $45. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time with that. So with 5 total points, that lands the Wave Bye bundle in the middle drawer. I think it's understood that every product is not for every person. So who do I think the Wave by bundle or the Wave products individually are for? If your cramps, I think if your cramps don't get past maybe like a level 6 out of 10, I think if your PMS symptoms are not so bad where they really interrupt your daily life, work life, personal life, exercise life, etc. And if you're in the market for products that are marketed as premium, I think you would be interested in probably giving these products a try. Y'all, we made it. We made it through the PMS brain and no energy. We made it. Let me know your thoughts on the products. Let me know if you would give them a try. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share this episode with your best friend, sister, cousin. Season 1 of Top Drawer is a wrap, and I'll see y'all.
Execute.